So welcome guys, it is Thursday Night Racing. This is round number 1 of our Porsche Trophy Challenge, proudly brought to you by SARCO. In the commentary box we have Ashley here for the Bravo tier. Ashley, how are you this evening?
Good evening guys, good evening Dylan. Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be another close one. I can see the guys are ready to go for the new season in the Porsche Cup, and I certainly am too.
Yeah, so we've had 48 drivers have entered into this championship. Absolutely fantastic numbers. Oh, can't wait to see the level of driving that we're going to be having over the next couple of weeks. So while we did have a little bit of technical issues up front, we have been able to sort those out. The guys have gone out onto the track already. There are 10 drivers currently. We have 6 drivers that aren't able to join us this evening, but effectively we have a Bravo tier and a Charlie tier running simultaneously. The top 2 from the Charlie tier will be promoted into the Alpha tier, into the Bravo tier for the next race, giving the guys the opportunity to come and join on the live stream and show us what they're in for.
Yeah, and yeah, definitely looking forward to that, Dylan. Unfortunately, we won't be able to bring you the close racing from the Charlie tier, but like Dylan said, those guys who do win this evening's event will be promoted, and yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight's racing for sure. It's going to be super close. I know the qualifying, so judging from the qualifying round, the guys from that participated last year in the Bravo tier some of them were promoted up to the Alpha tier. So the Alpha tier is looking really competitive, and the Bravo tier too. Well, because especially now that we've got additional drivers that have joined in, so their place is not certain either. So let's see how they can perform through the rest of the season.
Not 100%. So we're just having a look at the Horn Dog. So the Horn Dog was a champion on a Monday night, but not on the Thursday night. So he had to qualify, and he got himself here in the Bravo tier. You see the guys are in the Porsche Cayman GT4, and we do have a little bit of a surprise. So later on is that when we go into that Alpha tier, those guys will be driving in the Porsche 911 GT3 R.
And I've taken that car around the track, and I must say it is a beast, and actually very nice to drive. A little bit tricky, with the Porsche, it's very tail happy, but nevertheless it's actually a very nice car to drive. I'm really enjoying it around here.
So I did jump into a little practice session with Steven and Troy. The two of them, while they were in Bravo tier last season, they weren't able to get into the qualifying, so they unfortunately were down in Charlie. I was trying to drive this car with a controller, and man oh man, do I have new respect for Troy. So difficult to just get that feeling. The braking just it doesn't feel real. You're not able to modulate that braking, going FE-trial braking into the hairpin, specifically there as we've seen him come out of turn number 7. So that's Brandon Dos Santos. Brandon finishing up in the Alpha tier for a Monday night, but here he is having qualified for the Bravo tier.
Yeah, so it's not as easy to drive with the controller. I mean, you've also got to change gears, you've got to take in that consideration, and he just doesn't have the real feel on the throttle, on the steering. So yeah, a little bit tricky, but nevertheless he's here trying to make it. He's made an effort to join us, so a big ups to Brandon for making that effort. Another driver that's joined us is Mel Jark, and he actually sat out last season, so it's really good to see him back again. I know he's has been a very competitive driver in the past, so I'm looking forward to seeing him race in the Bravo tiers tonight.
No, most definitely. So we've all loved Mal Moore was his original PSN, then he became Mal TTR, but we all know him as Mal Jacques. So Jacques, welcome back. Just looking at third place, that's Zhuhai VDV. He's clearly clicked with his car and found himself currently lying in third place ahead of Colin. Then we have Tyler Scott in fifth place. So unfortunately for Tyler, missing out the Alpha Tier qualifying by 0.038 of a second, and there was unfortunately a bit of an issue on the timings where we incorrectly captured the likes of Connor's time. With that update, that unfortunately dropped Tyler down. So really looking forward to seeing what Tyler can do here. I'm sure he's going to be further up the pack in the racing. Then in sixth place, that is Foot Fiery, that is Yanaman. He's now joined us here in the season. This will be his first season here at SARCO. Then Donovan, he returns. We only saw him on the Thursday night last season, but now here he is joining a full season with us with a wheel. He's currently in seventh place. There's Brandon DeSantos down in eighth. So Brandon driving on a controller, so he's going to have the similar challenges that Troy would have been experiencing in that Charlie tier. Interesting enough, I see Dane, he's all the way down in ninth place and starting to lose a bit of time on his father-in-law and teammate Colin, who's in fourth place. So Greg, new to the season, welcome Greg.
Yeah.
So that is Riot V83. He's joined us qualifying here in the Bravo tier. So some guys have just joined us on the live stream. Rudy saying this is a fun track. Good luck everyone. Rudy will be looking forward to seeing you in the Alpha tier. Rudy tried, I think it was about 3 seasons. Oh, you see Jacques just about catching it there. Rudy is tried 3 times to get himself into the Alpha tier and just missed the cutoff, but now he is quite comfortably there and really looking forward to seeing Rudy. He will be helping us and hosting that Alpha tier that will come up a little bit later, just on about 9 o'clock. Theo, he too is there, Intrepid Striker. He's saying welcome everyone. Brandon Hills, he will be racing with his brother, the two of them, the Brandon and Vaughan, trying to see who's the fastest hills in the world. We'll be sure to look out for them. Morris is saying enjoy guys, and a comment to saying where is Marshall? Well, Morris, unfortunately Marshall was not able to qualify, so he is down in the Charlie tier. But we do know that the 2 winners of that Charlie tier do get promoted to the Alpha, to the Bravo tier. So I've got to get used to the fact that we actually have 3 tiers running, and we're hoping to see him racing with us very soon.
Yeah, it's so good to see that we're getting the support, and that we're getting noticed, and that the guys are training us, and exactly what we wanted. And thank you to everybody out there that is making this all possible for us. Yeah, fantastic. Three. I mean, tiers. Who would have thought, Dylan? It's so good. Last season we only were making this. Well, I say 2 years ago we only were just scraping through and getting 2 tiers together, and now we up to 3. So it's a great turnout. Thanks guys for the support.
100%. So as we come to the end of qualifying, I'm just having a look, and it is the Horn Dog up front there by 0.7 of a second, followed by Maljak, then Johan VDV, Donovan, Colin, Tyler Scott, that is Foot Fiery. Got to get used to some of the new guys' names. Let's just bring up our names list. So that is Yanaman, who is Foot Fiery 322. Really cool to see the new drivers coming through. So that concludes our qualifying. Just remember guys, the Alpha tier will be starting at just around 9 o'clock. And we did get a confirmation that unfortunately our Formula Renault V8 champion unfortunately won't be joining us in this league due to some work commitments, and unfortunately we won't be seeing him racing, but we do wish Christopher every bit of success, and we hope that he misses us extremely much. Is that actually a word? I don't think so. We hope he misses us and he does come back and races with us on a Thursday, but don't worry, the guys that are huge Christopher fans, he will be back on Monday night in our vintage touring cars. That's also another one I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, we will be missing Mr. Flat Out, but nonetheless the guys will be going.
They will be going flat out themselves, right?
Just, yeah, exactly. Sorry, I just got interrupted there with a call.
So guys, the format for this evening is 10-minute qualifying followed by a 40-minute race. Each one of the drivers will need to do a pit stop. They don't necessarily need to change tires or put fuel, but they would need to stop. And what that does is it does bring in that, I suppose, the unpredictable, so to say, because some guys might be running those tires very aggressively and decide to change, which will add time on that pit stop, while others will just fill it up and run conservatively. We know that some drivers don't like to drive conservatively and would rather be giving it all from the beginning. So we're just waiting for the sync up to come, and then we will be racing.
Yeah, I think that's going to be my strategy tonight, is just take it easy. Judging from my qualifying, I'm probably going to be starting at the back of the grid, so I'll just see what happens. Hopefully, not that I want it to happen, but maybe there will be some instances, and then I can get past a couple of drivers. But yeah, let's see how this race goes.
100%. So we see Pierre Depenoy. He's saying "Hoi Millies, boys." Now that we're seeing Pierre there, we're actually wondering, Pierre, but why aren't you racing?
I think Pierre contacted me a couple of weeks ago. He's actually having problems with his internet.
Goodness. All right, well, this is round number 1 in the Bravo tier. We are racing and live here at Zhuhai. Trying to get some of my...
Good start off the line there, and it looks like Jock that's got the lead, and he's taking the position. He's the first corner. Oh, we have someone who's gone off there. I think there was Tyler who went a bit wide.
It looked like a little bit of a touch going into turn number 1. They were just about 3 wide going into turn 1, and it is quite a tricky corner, that, because it does tighten up on you, and you do feel that you are on a bit of a reverse camber. But quite safely, as the guys now come through the chicane section, now flat out through turn number 6. And then they'll go into this heavy braking zone here, turn number 7. Lots and lots of overtaking opportunities can be had there, as Mal Jacques is currently in the lead with the Horn Dog chasing him down.
Good stop by Jock there. Ooh, brakes a little bit earlier than expected. I think the Horn Dog got caught out there, and it just manages to keep it online.
So Jacques running wide.
Jacques going a little bit wide there. Oh,
tandem.
No.
2 cars together.
What
one of them being Jacques, and in the background, that is Colin. So there we see Colin now moving up into 9th place. And it just seems like they did that together, which now is releasing the Horn Dog up front, and Donovan up into 2nd place with Tyler Scott into 3rd, the 2 teammates.
Wow, that was synchronized spinning, and unfortunately Jock just got it on the grass there, and that's got him spinning around. We did see him actually, and there's someone in the background doing the same thing.
No, that is Dane. So that is the 2 Dane Racing drivers finding themselves a curb. Dane, you need to just calm down, get the car straight first, otherwise you'll be going left and right for the rest of the evening.
I think there was a bit of frustration there, and he just planted the pedal to the middle, and yeah, well, unfortunately you're not going to go anywhere if you do that. So the Horn Dog, he's opened up a bit of a gap already, almost a 2-second lead over Donovan. So he's already stamping his foot early in this Bravo tier season. But let's see if he can hang on to this first position. We've got what's his name? Donovan and Tyler chasing down the Horn Dog at the moment.
So I know that Donovan and Tyler are a new team that has been formed, because if you remember in the last series is that Tyler was racing with Robert, his brother-in-law, but with Tyler not being able to qualify for that Alpha tier, is Tyler's had to take a new teammate, as we see Brandon getting on the power, chasing down Johan VDV and just getting the rear loose just a little bit.
Yeah, it's good to see Johan at the top of this field. He didn't have a fantastic end to the previous season in the Group A's, but he seems to have found his rhythm in the Porsche Cup. So let's see if he can keep that momentum for the rest of the season.
100%. So actually, I just went and looked back, and the team that Donovan and Tyler have created is Ezekiel Racing. So very interesting plan, where they will definitely have to find out why they chose that name. Pierre saying go hot dog, so it looks like that name is definitely going to stick, with Pierre saying that he will see us on Sunday in ACC. Really looking forward to him. And Alexander, I keep wanting to ask him how you pronounce his surname, but I probably can't give that a go. He's also saying go hot dog. No, I'm joking. He said go hot dog.
Shame. Yeah, Andrew's never let that down. That's yeah. But anyway, going back to Tyler here, who gets it on the grass a bit, and he was lucky not to sprint around there. That's allowed his teammate Odonis to close up. Oh, and that touch. That's not, and that's going to allow Johan VDV
to move himself ahead of Donovan, and possibly get himself ahead of Tyler. And Brandon's now going to come into the mix. So I'm sure the two will be having some words, saying, whoa, what is going on here? A little bit of a love tap.
That's not that's not what you want to do in your first race as new teammates, that's for sure. But it has made this race slightly more interesting. So let's see now if
great move there by Donovan.
Can come back, and he comes dead right.
But the two teammates are a little bit too deep into turn number 1, which means that Johan VDV is now side by side with Tyler. They're going to go through turn number 2 together. That was extremely dangerous, with Tyler being on the outside. A little look to the inside there, and what I really enjoyed about that is Tyler loses
there
the rear. That gets Johan VDV up into second place. Absolutely fantastic driving. What we're seeing here is even though Donovan was making those moves, having a look, you can see Johan saw him coming, created the space, and Brandon just about closing up on him, but still allowed Johan VDV to get through.
Absolutely fantastic racing, yeah.
So side by side now into turn number 9. Johan VDV on the inside. Brandon following Donovan as they are now go throughout the backside through turn number 10. That is an extremely tricky corner, as we saw 2 guys earlier, both Colin and Maljacques getting it very wrong. But Brandon now trying to close up on the back of Donovan, while Donovan are chasing Johan VDV. And what I see is happening, I was about to say, that's going to allow Greg, who's up into 5th place. But he unfortunately getting the exit out of turn number 11 a little bit wrong. So unfortunately going to lose that little bit of that momentum, and possibly allow Tyler to close up that gap on him once again.
Yeah, not bad running there from Greg. This is basically his first race as a member of SARCO, and actually,
So that was...
And things just go from bad to worse.
Donovan, that rear just letting go, and we've got to remember that turn number 1, it sounds like Donovan missed a gear there. So something might have gone wrong there. But as he had turned in, that rear just carried on going around. So I'm not sure whether it was a lockup of the pedal or the brake or something, but it doesn't look like that was intentional.
Well, this is very typical of the Porsche. The rear is very, very tricky to keep under control, and especially if you haven't got your brake bias set correctly, you could possibly under braking get a little bit wrong, and it swings around. There was a good overtake there by Tyler, and that puts him back into 4th position. And it looks like Greg just trying to find his rhythm again. Like I say, he's still fairly new to this. He only got his steering wheel, about a month ago, and he's been putting in the effort and time, and he's doing pretty well for his first race.
So back to the battle for 3rd and 2nd place. Brandon Dos Santos trying to close down the likes of Johan VDV. And I must say, I'm really, really impressed with Johan VDV. The way he was able to maneuver himself through the 2 Ezekiel drivers was absolutely fantastic. And no contact there. And that's exactly what we talk about here at SARCO. We drive hard, but we drive with respect.
Yeah, good clean overtake. He gave the guys enough room. And I think both those Ezekiel drivers were just a little bit too hasty or impatient, and basically they just it's caused them to slip back in the field a bit. But I see in the background there that Tyler is gaining, and on that last lap he was he was the same pace as pretty much on the same pace as the guys in front of him. Brandon did a 1:43.1 on that last lap, so he was just a second of 2/10 or 200ths of a second off Johan's time there of a 1:43.1.
Tyler.
So at the moment, Johan is the quickest on the track.
Other than the horn dog, because he's rocking those 141s.
Other than the horn dog, sorry, I didn't see. Okay, my apologies.
So I see Memo, he's joined us. Remember, we were sending you invites, and then we realized that you had said that you weren't able to race this evening. But thank you for joining, as well as Connor. I hope that you look forward to your Alpha Tier stint. Connor, on our YouTube chats, he did get the bump up this afternoon. So we're really hoping that he enjoys his stay there. So to the guys who are on the stream, we are streaming live to both YouTube and Facebook. If you are there, we do love seeing those comments. Tell us what you're thinking about the racing, as well as who are the drivers that you're currently supporting.
As we're driving on board with the horn dog and just showing us how it's done around here. With the quickest time so far. The only other guy that's got close to his time is Mel Jock, and then we saw in the beginning Jock unfortunately had that spin, and he's way back in 9th position. I would imagine he would have gone back into the pits to repair any damage that he got on that spin.
Yeah. I'll say most definitely that wall on the outside out of turn number 10 is extremely unforgiving. And it is just one of the things that this game does not like. It does not like the curbs. But you're literally going flat out through turn number 9. You're approaching that turn number 10. And you can get it flat through there, provided you get your turn in. But if you do run it just a little bit wide, that curb does tend to bounce you off. See that on the Facebook page, we've got Reeve Cornish. He's joined us saying, well done. We do have Reeve. He's actually downloading Project Cars, he said, as we speak. So we are expecting to see him coming to race with us very soon.
That would be great. It would be so great to see more drivers. Oh, and as I go on board with Donovan, he spins it around and miraculously recovers very quickly.
Well,
So I wonder if he pressed the old reset
We might
button.
have to have a little chat with Donovan, because that reset button should not be used, and the reason we don't like the reset button is because if you do go off, and you can see Janneman now starting to close that, is that if he had more pace, then all of a sudden a car just pops in front of you, you're not able to change your line, and that generally creates lots and lots of problems.
Yeah.
So I see Robert Stoltz, he's joined us saying, really, Team Ezekiel? Why? Robert, we're hoping that you could possibly answer that for us, but clearly if you're asking the question, we don't know either. But it did come up on the Discord feed, so that's how we know that's the team that they had chosen.
I wonder if it's got anything to do with that video that's going around at the moment with the dog and the deer, where they're shouting at each other, Ezekiel, Tony!
So,
and something about the others.
So some inside information is that did go up on our Discord, and that all makes lots of sense now, that's the names that they've chosen.
Interesting.
Johan VDV a little bit wide coming out of turn number 14, and the challenge about turn number 14 is that too can cause lots of problems for you. The best thing to do is come off the power, just straighten up your wheel and let the car just roll off on the dirt, as opposed to try and flicking it back onto the track. And Brandon DeSantos is having an almighty battle here with Johan VDV. He hasn't allowed him to get away in the Brad Binder numbers. He was so proud this afternoon when the guys were looking at the numbers, and he claimed that. We do know that he is a Brad Binder fan. So Brad, if you are watching,
Brad Binder or Verstappen. That's also the Verstappen's number. But I'm sure you'll be supporting Brad Binder.
Yeah, he's
sure.
proudly South African. What can I say?
Yeah, I must say he is having a crack of a race to get in those times and just keeping within attack distance from Johan. What a fantastic drive for him. So hats off to him. Definitely.
Okay, so the question that Robert was actually asking us was not about the name, it's about really that they took each other out. Oh gosh, you gotta love live TV, don't you?
Yeah.
So Brandon's just joined us.
Well,
and
these
says
things happen.
hashtag the 33. Yep. Brandon, I just wanted to know that have you teamed up with your brother? Oh, Johan VDV is wide.
There goes Brandon.
That allows Brandon DeSantos to move up into second place. So Johan will slot in behind him to try and get a bit of a slipstream here into turn number 1. Lots of inside curve there for Brandon. You can just see how the track just fades away off to the left-hand side. And that's been some of the challenge that Donovan has felt coming through there.
So a bit of pressure there from Brandon, and it paid off as he forced Johan to make a mistake, and that's allowed him pass, and he's actually pulling away a bit. Dylan, he's not now with a bit of space in front. Oh, and as I say that, maybe a little bit of a commentator's curse. He goes a bit wide onto the grass, and that allows now for Johan to catch up to the back of him. So let's see if they go into this corner here, how late Johan brakes.
So that was just about the same, but now will they both be flat through here? Oh, Johan takes a little bit of curb with him. My heart.
Did a bit of farming there. So he's pushing a little bit too hard now. He just has to relax a bit and then find his rhythm again, and then just be a little bit patient. There's still time left. We still have 22 minutes left on the clock, and it's still anyone's race.
So I'm just having a look at Mal Jacques, and he's starting to move himself up the field. He's now up into 7th place. So he'll on his current race pace, he looks like he might be able to catch Janneman, who's currently in 6th place, being able to catch him at just over 1 second a lap. So with just over 20 minutes left, at 20 minutes 20 seconds, that could very well be. So we see Daniel the War Machine, he's joined us, shouting for Johan VDV. How's it, Daniel? Don't forget, Saturday night we're going to be doing some 5x5 American style. So I hope you have dusted off that wheel and get ready to do some pretty cool racing with us.
Just looking at the front of the pack, and a good time there from the Warn Dog. He's not slowing down, he's not taking it easy, he's racing like there's no tomorrow.
Like Andrew nicknamed him like the scalpel, because he's just so precise.
The scalpel. So yeah, an 18-second gap between him and second place. So I mean, he can literally go into the pits, have a smoke break, and then go back out again.
Or he could touch a curb, flick it back onto the wall, and then that's the end of his race. Anything can happen.
Yep. It's possible, yes.
So I was just about to say, let's jump back to second and the third place, because within a second of each other, Johan VDV is no.
Oh, when he comes across the track.
And that's what happened.
That was a bit naughty, but he managed to stay out the way, and good driving there from Tyler to manage to avoid him. And that's promotes him back to 3rd position. So Tyler just needs to carry on this momentum. He's about a second or just half a second quicker than second guy Brandon at the moment. So he's on good pace at the moment.
I think we're going to start calling him Brandon DS.
Brandon DS, yeah.
Because we can't get the two Brandons mixed, because people think, no, but Brandon's racing in the next race. So we've got the Brandon Hills and the Brandon DS. I like it.
Like it too. That's pretty cool.
So
Brandon DS comes out to the little last back part of this
up against
this track, the
up
back
against
straight.
turn number 10 on that curb.
The curb.
So dangerous out there. So what we would need to just see is the pace that Johan VDV would currently be doing, understanding that he'll have a Greg behind him, and does Johan VDV, now that we're just on halfway through this race, how will he manage? That does look like quite a bit of damage, but it doesn't look like he's decided to go into the pit, so he might be able to just hang on for the next 20 minutes. But no, he's decided the damage is too much. He is going to go into the pits, get it repaired, and then hopefully he'll be able to recover some places later on the second phase of this race.
And that's promoted Greg, our newcomer, up to 4th position. So a good race from him. He's just keeping it clean and tidy, not getting in anybody's way, and that's exactly what you want to do on your first race. You don't want to go get too excited and then end up in the wall like some of these other guys have.
And as you said, he goes just off the track on the straight. Man, oh man, oh man.
So going to the front of the field, we've got Tyler. No, sorry,
that is Tyler,
yes.
3rd place.
Sorry, I just got a glimpse of his teammate Donovan, who's about to get left by Brandon DS.
See, it comes off the tongue so easily. I hope Brandon enjoys that.
It does. And I must say, he's chosen fantastic colours. That's gunmetal grey or silver, whatever you want to call it, actually works really well on that Porsche.
Can I tell you what the problem is with that for me? It's not green enough. So
yeah, it's not a green bump.
that is correct. So the grey metal, it's not a thing.
Well, I would certainly pick those colours. I think they look fantastic.
Yeah, so a few messages coming through. Daniel the War Machine going, no! So that was just a message after watching Johan VDV go into the wall. And he's saying, caution, caution, a yellow flag.
Well, that's interesting. It looks like Greg started with a light fuel load. Maybe he's coming up to get some extra fuel. No, maybe some tires.
That looks like it's just a splash and dash.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if he picked up some damage somewhere and we're not seeing it. But that has allowed our foot fiery friend.
Yep, that is Janneman. So Janneman now up into 4th place. But just remember that all the drivers will need to lap. Listen to me. Here I'm looking at the Horn Dog on lap number 14. As I'm saying, we'll need to pit at least once within this race. And what that does is it does bring the field closer back together. So if the guys do have an incident, is that everybody will stall and need to go into the pits at least once. So at least you're effectively losing just about the time that you spend in the pits, as opposed to the entire time that is taken going into the pits as well as exiting.
Well, that will make it interesting, because that now puts Jock up into 5th position, and he's already pitted. I mean, you remember he had that incident at the beginning, so effectively he's already done his pit stop, and fortunately where he spun wasn't too far from the pit, so we might see him challenging the top 3, I reckon, if at this pace that he's doing at the moment.
Yeah, so he is just on pace with the guys that are currently ahead of him, and definitely with him having pitted, that's going to allow him to move further up without being seen. And Johan VDB see that he's also possibly struggling a 149, so he would have already had pitted. And now it's going to be for him to start just getting his head down and starting to close up. But you can see how close the guys are there. So we've got 3 cars who are going to be fighting for position in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, that pit stop definitely makes things a little bit interesting. Keeps the guys closer together. And it's quite easy to make a mistake in the pits and lose quite a bit of time there. So, yeah, it's anyone's race still. So let's see how that goes.
Well, anyone other than the Horn Dog. He just needs to keep it on the track. With 15 minutes left, here they're on lap number 16. I must say that as much as I enjoy the GT4s, they really are great cars to drive. I'm looking forward to watching the Alpha tier in the GT3s. That's going to be an absolute cracker.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to driving it, because I did manage to just qualify. When I say just, by the skin of my teeth, basically, I managed to get into the Alpha tier, and just ahead of Tyler. In fact, so that was very, very lucky, and yeah, I'm looking forward to racing.
The time between yourself and Tyler was 0.123 of a second.
Oh, it's crazy, absolutely crazy.
But that's what happens with this type of racing, is that when you've got a field that is so deep. If I just have a look at the time, so between where you had qualified, if I go down the order and I go down just half a second, that half a second covers 7 drivers.
Sure. And if you actually think about it, I probably, because of what the incidents that happened between Connor and the fact that we got the time wrong. I actually didn't make it. I actually should have been in this
100%.
race now. But for some reason, well, obviously we know why, but Christopher couldn't join us, and now that's promoted everybody up. So that was quite lucky.
So Connor is saying that it is going to be tough. We see Dirkie, he's joined us. How's it, Dirkie? He said, I will take the back market position for Alpha. This car is not working in my hands. But we know that that's what Dirkie says, but get him on the track. He does like 5 or 6 laps, and all of a sudden there he is within the top 5.
Yeah, Dirkie is a fierce competitor, and yeah, putting him in your car, come rain, snow, whatever we're racing, he's usually in the your top 5 at least, if not competing for the podiums. So yeah, don't write yourself off just yet, Dirkie. We know you're a much better driver than you think.
Okay, so see that Johan VDV is now back on pace, and he has got just over 10 seconds between himself and Maljak. So here comes our race leader into the pits with a 18-second lead over the second place Brandon, who he himself would still need to pit, as well as Janaman, who's currently in third. We see Dane, he joins for the pits as well. So I'm not too sure whether he's had another incident. By the way, but he didn't crash, he just spun off and was doing those backwards and forwards Infinity donuts for us.
And we see Brendan DS coming over the line now. He now takes first position. So he's now leading this race.
So while he is leading the race, just remember guys, he does need to go and do a pit stop. Without that pit stop, he will unfortunately be penalized for it. But I know the guys understand. See, now he's pushing way too hard, knowing that the Horn Dog is now on his way out of the pits.
He needs to just keep it calm and then keep it clean. Because he needs to think about the guys behind him as well. There's a good possibility that Maljak can catch it.
Can we just jump down to Johan VDV there in 6th place, please? Because I see that he does have Greg behind him. But not only that, is looking at his lap time versus Jacques, is that he is currently 0.4 of a second quicker. So there is still time for Johan VDV to close up some of that time if 1 or 2 mistakes start creeping in from Maljak.
I seem to think that Jacques is just nursing those tyres. Just remember, he went in the pits on literally the 2nd lap, so he's been on those same tyres for the last half an hour or so, and they will be starting to get tired now. So he's probably just been nursing those tyres a bit just to see if he can, or I'm hoping that we'll see him push towards the end of the race. And there's our race leader, it's just coming in the pits. And we see the Horn Dog retaking that lead again.
And the Horn Dog trying to now closing up on the back marker once again. So he would, I would believe that is Donovan, seeing Donovan down in 10th place. But looking at Donovan's time, is he's doing a 1:42.9, so that would still put him up in the mix there in the top 5. So I'm sure a very frustrating start of the season for the Ezekiel team. So unfortunately, Johan VDV is slower than Maljak that time round, and Jacques now, well, there's just something wrong with the timing between Brandon and Maljak. because it's saying that they were a minute apart, but in all honesty, that is Maljak, who's now moved himself ahead of Brandon. So Brandon now down into 5th place, and Maljak is in 4th. Talk about a comeback.
So I wonder if Brandon made a slight mistake there when he came out of the pits. Maybe he just didn't have his tyres up to temperature yet, or got a bit caught out with the extra grip, and that allowed for Maljak to get past. But yeah, I do see there's the times are very strange there, but I think it's just resyncing itself after the pit stop. So let's see what Jock can do now. He's now catching 3rd place driver Tyler Scott, and on that last lap was 2 seconds quicker than Tyler. So
oh man, this is going to come down to a 3-0 horse in the last 5 minutes.
I think so. I think we're going to have a good battle here at the end, and he'll see that Tyler's just ahead of him, and he'll start pushing now. He's been saving those tires, I reckon, and now's the time just to see if he can push it out towards the end with just over 6 minutes left on the clock. Man, oh man, I think we're up for a good finish here.
This always seems to happen, specifically in the Bravo tier, is that we have like a really hectic beginning. The middle seems to go okay, there's a few moves, and then as soon as you start coming down to those closing minutes and everybody closes up again, and then it's becomes a race.
Yeah, those pit stops definitely add a little something into the mix, and maybe we should make it a 2 pit stop race and see how that works.
So I'm just thinking whether Janaman up in 2nd place, I hope he has made that pit stop, because the last thing we'd want is that for him not to have done so, and get additional time added to his final time.
I hope somebody did tell him or did mention to him, or he read the rules correctly, because it is mandatory to do a pit stop. But he might just be leaving it a bit late. He might be just happy with the rhythm that he's in at the moment, and we'll just go for a splash and dash towards the end.
Yeah, so Jacques is definitely closing up on Tyler Scott, so thanks for jumping there. Now with Brandon behind, now coming out of turn number is that number 11, number 12.
Sorry Dylan, I threw you off a bit there. It's the final corner, they're going onto the straight now. So that gap has come down slightly, and Tyler can see Maljak catching him and is up to his pace a little bit, but still not enough. Almost a second slower than Jock. And as they head down to this little chicane,
yeah, it's a very tricky turns 4 and 5 there, because that little turn number 5 actually it's a 90 degree, then all of a sudden you've got this opening corner, so you try and get a very late apex there so you can get that straight line speed on as soon as possible. But Jacques closing up ever so slightly, that time between them now just within 1.5 seconds. So this is Maljak, the man with a plan, now starting to close up on the 3rd place Tyler.
That's right. So yeah, he's definitely pushing harder, and he's even closer now.
So interestingly enough is that Jacques is actually a seasoned alpha tier driver, but just with him taking that season off, has now come back. Just wasn't able to get in those qualifying times, but now we're actually seeing the skill that he has of being able to put in those laps time after time, and to start putting Tyler under massive pressure with just on about 2 laps to go.
Yeah, and that's just the experience that he's had. I mean, he's been doing this for a couple of years now, so he's no stranger to to the online racing community. And yeah, we'll just see that.
That was Brandon. That stuck in the wall.
That was a very unlucky spot to go off. And
looks
like he's got some serious damage. Oh no. So his race has gone from bad to worse.
So that's going to allow Zhuhai VDV up. Oh, two cars have just disconnected.
Disconnected, and Mulchark was one of them. Oh, that is so unfortunate.
No, man. Why, Project Cars, do you even allow that? Come on.
So as Brandon DS going into the wall has shook up the game a bit. Unfortunately, we've had two drivers disconnect, and one of them being Mulchark, and the other one was actually Tyler. So both second and third drivers.
Tyler's still there. He's in third place.
Tyler's still. So who was the other way? I'm trying to see now who the other. It was. No, it just wasn't. Anyway, with 1 minute left of the clock, I hope Footfire is going to go into the pits. Otherwise, he's going to find himself with a heavy penalty for not obeying the rules. And I don't think he's going to make it a time. This might be the last lap for the Horn Dog, who has led from pretty much the beginning of this race. Almost from lap 1, I would say. I think Mulchark went off in the first lap.
Daniel's saying that that hit was so hard it had the Thanos effect. Daniel, you're not joking, man. That was crazy hard.
Damn, and there's Brandon struggling around. He's not going to pit, he knows.
Yeah, Brandon. He's going to be struggling for the next lap, and that actually might get Donovan ahead of him. Donovan 30 seconds behind, but that the lap that you can see that Brandon did a 2:07. So Donovan should be able to close that time up.
Let's see where Donovan is now. He's coming down the main straight.
And can I tell you something to add insult to injury? The Horn Dog is on another lap.
Oh my word! So he went over the line.
So
before the clocks went down, so counted down. So he will be further back now.
So that's definitely going to allow Donovan to close that gap up and get himself ahead of Brandon, unless Donovan makes an unfortunate mistake.
So you can see that time coming down and catching at a rapid rate.
So the other driver we lost was Colin.
It was Colin. Sorry, Colin.
Oh, Brandon, I am feeling so like uncomfortable for him, just watching that car just twitch left, right, and remember that he's controlling that and counteracting the movement of the car on a controller. I thought he was going to stick him in the put him into the pits there.
I thought he was going to go to the pits there.
But I wonder if he knows he's got another lap.
Let's see if we can see Donovan coming around the corner. He's now 20 seconds. That was
Donovan's in the Falcon colours.
I think that was the Horn Dog who crosses over the line.
Oh, and there comes
and
Donovan.
Wins the first race. He wins the first race of the series. Well done. And the Footfire comes into second place, but unfortunately I don't think he made a pit stop, so we'll have to just check that. Which means that Tyler Scott will technically finish in second position, followed by
Zhuhai VDV.
Zhuhai VDV. So a good recovery there from Tyler, who had a couple of spins in the beginning and coming together with his teammates. And a good end there for Johan VDV.
Yep, he managed to get himself. So at this moment we have him down as 4th place. We'll just need to check the final standings, and Brandon down in a 7th place, fighting this car as he now goes in through turn number 12. He'll now exit. Honestly, just no control of that car at all. He has got 30 seconds to cross the line. Come on, Brandon. We're all cheering you on here.
And I think Donovan must be an extra lap down, because it looks like he's really finished the race.
And there we have
there
it.
You go.
So he did pit, which means that puts him in 2nd place. That is amazing. So what I'm thinking he did was he pitted earlier on, and then all of a sudden starts moving through the field. So an absolutely fantastic effort there. Well done.
Yes.
Yeah, no, man, it definitely caught us by surprise. So absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, definitely caught me by surprise there. I was wondering where did he pit, but he must have sneakily go in there somewhere. So fantastic race by him, coming in 2nd position. Followed by Tyler Scott in 3rd, and in 4th, Johan VDV. So a good start there to the Bravateer. Dylan, I'm going to get ready for my race.
100%.
I'll check you later. Cool. Cheers, guys.
Thank you for hosting, Tyler. Really appreciate it. Yeah, thanks, Tyler. Thanks, guys. I think it was like a race.
Yeah, guys, that was really awesome. Tyler, are you able to assist me with Alpha Tier, please?
Yeah.
And then Yanaman, the Horn Dog, and Tyler, are you able to join me in the Discord, please?
Of course. Yeah. Yeah, well done, Yanaman. Yeah, thank you, everyone. Sure. Cheers. Tony, we'll speak later.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Ja, DC. 3 manier.
Ja, that's kacke zo.
Hier. It's bad luck. Oh well.
Did Yanaman go for
Yes, he did.
I don't know. I could think of seeing it.
Because I didn't see him, that's why. Because I was checking everyone going into the pits and I didn't see. Yo.
Sorry man, I heard that. Did everyone pit stop?
Yes.
That's what I was
I took on the first lap already.
No, that's what I asked. No, because I was watching and I also picked up Yanaman.
You're still the gold mic, eh?
Yeah, that's who I also didn't see.
Yeah, he was as well. I didn't see it.
Because I saw a couple of guys going.
Yeah, we did check it.
Oh, okay.
Because we weren't sure that he had pitted. When it came up, everybody had pitted.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yellow.
But well. Draai 3 laat.
See, Tyler, if you check there on our race settings, it says mandatory pit stop, no.
Right, guys, in the Discord, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes,
Can
we
you hear
can.
me?
Yes, we can. So, guys,
Awesome.
for some reason,
video feed
that is
giving me
the
interviews
is not coming
but
through.
we do have the sound.
But we
So
do
let's
have
start
the
with you,
sound.
Tyler.
So let's start with you,
A
Tyler.
third place for you.
A third
A bit
place
of an
for you.
incident
A
between
bit of an
yourself
incident
and Donovan
between yourself
then
and
in about
Donovan
the
then
second or third
in
lap.
about the second or
But
third lap.
got yourself in third
But
place.
got yourself in third place.
Yeah, I was lucky. There was a bit of chaos in the beginning. Managed to get through that. And then Donovan and I came together. So, yeah, teammates taking out each other. One of those things.
Yeah. Not something you definitely want
Not
to send
something
back
you definitely
to
want
the
to send back
sponsors,
to
is it?
the sponsors, is it?
No.
And then Janneman,
And then Janneman,
I must apologize.
I must apologize.
Is between
is
myself and Ashley,
between myself
we
and
weren't sure
Ashley,
whether
we
you
weren't
had pitted
sure
or not,
whether
and
you
you
had pitted or
definitely
not,
pulled a
and you
fast one on
definitely
us.
pulled a fast one on us.
Seeing at the end of the race
Seeing at
that
the
you
end of
had
the race
pitted,
that you had
put
pitted,
yourself firmly in
and you
second
put
place
yourself
in
firmly
your
in
first
second
race
place in your
with
first
SARCO.
race with SARCO.
Well, that was unexpected. What I tried to do is, I tried to actually stay out of everybody's way. So I decided to pit the second lap. And it was a strategy that was either going to work or backfire in my face. So it worked.
No, 100%. So
No,
I just
100%.
hope
So
that you
I just hope
did
that you
enjoy
did enjoy
your first race with
your
SARCO.
first race with SARCO.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was absolutely awesome and very unexpected.
No, 100%.
No,
Like,
100%.
really
Like,
happy.
really
that you've come
happy
in
that you've
and
come in
you've enjoyed it like that.
and you've enjoyed it.
Then
like that.
Andrew, quite
Then
a quiet
Andrew,
race for you up
quite a
front.
quiet race for you up front.
We did think that Jacques
we
would be
did
able to
that
add a
Jacques
little bit
would
of
be able
pressure.
to add a little bit of pressure.
But unfortunately, he did
but
go
unfortunately,
off
he
on
did
turn
go
number
off
10,
on turn number
synchronized
10,
spinning
synchronized spinning with himself and Colin,
and you were
and you were away free.
Yeah, I was a bit worried about Jacques at the beginning there. He got past me and it was making it difficult to get past him again. So I thought that was going to be a good race for the 40 minutes, but he made a mistake, which kind of left me alone to my own devices, and that was that.
No, 100%.
No, 100%.
And we do know that we don't know what's happened in terms of the Charlie tier.
The Charlie
we will
tier.
be having the
We will be having the two
winners from the Charlie tier.
winners from the Charlie tier will be promoted up to
So
the
we might
Bravo
just
tier.
have two
So we
other
might just have
drivers
two other
starting
drivers
to compete
starting to
here
compete
in the Bravo
here
tier for
in
next
the
week.
Bravo tier for next week.
It's very cool.
So guys, thank you
So
very
guys,
much. It was
thank you
absolutely
very much. It was
fantastic.
absolutely
Lots of
fantastic.
excitement happening.
Lots of excitement
throughout,
happening
and
throughout.
we can't wait for
And
next
we
week.
can't wait for next week.
Thanks,
Oh,
Dylan,
thank
for
you very
organizing
much.
it.
Thanks, Dylan. Thanks,
Only a
guys.
pleasure.
Only a pleasure.
Thank you, everyone.
Go Rough Riders in the A
We
lobby.
hope to see you on the stream.
We hope to see you on the stream.
Andrew.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.
Okay, guys. So while we're
Okay,
just
guys. So
waiting,
while we're just waiting for
the invite to come through,
the invite to come
we
through,
will be getting
ready to
start.
start.
Maybe I should just check
Maybe I should just check
whether I haven't got the invite.
that I haven't got the invite.
So no
No,
just yet.
no
Let's
invite
just
just
find
yet.
out what's
Let's
happening
just
from
find out
Rudy.
what's happening from Rudy.
So a
really good race
now.
this evening. And now all of a sudden I've got
my
my
voice back
my
in
voice
my head.
back in my head.
There we go. That should have solved that problem. So there we go. So now that we join the alpha tier, we can just turn on the background noise and just see that there isn't a broadcaster set in the lobby.
So we'll have to reset that, unfortunately.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will.
Who's going to set up the nail of it?
Rudy Buzz. Rudy Buzz.
Still van jaren doen.
Nee, Rudy is klaar op pad.
Nearly time for bed already.
So I've just been sent the results for the Charlie tier, and it looks like joining the Bravo tier for next week will be Marshall and Andrew. That's Andrew Brogioni. In third place was Stephen. Fourth place was Marius from BRM. In fifth was France, we would know him as Flat Rabbit. Troy was in sixth place, and then Racing Wolf in the seventh position.
That's actually a clever system.
What? Numbering people. Numbering 500 and 500
No.
Connor, I understand exactly what you're saying. Thank you.
Just tired. I feel enough.
All lives matter, Craig. All lives matter.
You're a great man. Rudy's saying he keeps disconnecting. Someone please recreate. Who's gonna?
I'm an LTE.
I'll do it quickly, guys.
Okay.
So unfortunately, Rudy having a bit of a technical issue there, keeps disconnecting. So I'm just going to make sure that the lobby is set up. We'll make that private. It needs to be broadcasting on. Tyler, are you still in the Discord chat here? Yes, you are.
Dylan, I am here. Sorry, you were just on mute.
Cool. That's the right track. Just double checking the settings. That is correct.
You'll just turn my volume up again,
Will
Dylan.
do. Robert, just asking for an invite. We're just recreating that lobby quickly. We will send those invites out to you now.
Dylan, I just want to check if you're in the lobby.
I'm just recreating.
Okay. I was just busy doing the same thing.
It's just I haven't I didn't set up a list for this specifically, so I've just had to just run through it all manually quickly. And then Tyler, you the race director, right?
Dirk, dis sommer reg hier toe, dis sommer reg hier toe.
Semana.
Just hope this keeps disconnecting.
I forgot about Robert. Icelanding one.
Yeah, it's in then everybody's here. Everybody's here.
Maar ja, zullen mij laat met de binnen, mijn lijn op mijn lijn left, ik heb mijn lijn left, ik heb mijn lijn left, ik heb mijn lijn left.
Change my car.
Keep your eyes peeled.
Right, so the guys in the lobby, just let me know if there's anybody that is currently missing.
Where's Connor?
No, he was called.
Connor,
He was called for
Connor.
Somebody has this car. Chelsea Craig stole my car.
Use you lose.
Yeah, I chose that one 2 nights ago.
Okay, so I've invited Connor back in.
We're not going.
It's rock and roll.
More of a Ferrari.
Yeah, so it is only Ross that is missing. So that means Dylan, you could be the broadcaster. And Tyler, the race director.
Tell them to keep that camera off. Enjoy the race,
I'll try.
Yeah.
So guys, just remember when you do go for the race is that it has been set to a standing start, and apologies that we didn't run that for the Bravo tier, but there is a 1 lap formation going into a rolling start.
Okay.
Alright, so you will be starting from standing, but you will be doing a rolling start manual as opposed to doing the manual formation, because we understand the issues that creates. Enjoy, guys.
So when I pull away, I go once around, and then when I count down, when I go over the line.
That is correct.
That is a view of
Decided to roll position, Morris, but I love your enthusiasm. Right, guys, enjoy.
Marius, baie geluk met jou eerste podium.
Nee.
So it's nice to see that the camaraderie still continues, and all the the little digs. So Ashley, are you going to be commentating driving this evening, or are you just going to be driving?
I'm going to be driving, and then I'll throw my 5 cents every now and then.
Fantastic. So Tyler, I don't know how you feel about commentating with me. See, Marshall, he's just joined us, so congrats, Marshall, for winning the Charlie tier. We will see you in the Bravo tier next week with Andrew Ambrosioni, and I'm sure Andrew Horn will be absolutely chomping at the bits to know that his bromance buddy will be back.
Yeah, Dylan, not a problem.
So to everyone on the stream, just let us know whether you can hear Tyler loud and clear, please. We know that last week when he, or on Monday, apologies, when he was in the party with us, is unfortunately we weren't able to hear him. Tyler, let us know how you feel.
What, the last race?
Yep.
Yeah, like I said, it went alright. For some reason, I just wasn't on pace. About a second and a half down of what I was practicing. So I just couldn't get back into the rhythm. And then, yeah, I had a lucky break actually. Got a bit of clean air, and then luckily for me, there were some disconnects. And unluckily for those guys, unfortunately. So, yeah.
I was actually quite surprised to hear that Brandon and Vaughan won't be driving together as a team. Because Brandon's comment earlier on the stream was saying that Vaughan wasn't fast enough, so he decided to stick with Lendl. So they're still going to have the challenge on to see who the fastest hills in the planet is. So that is Brandon Hills currently going past the start-finish line. They wouldn't have been able to get a lap on just yet. So the guys will now be on a flying lap, and just the correction of the format is the guys will start from a standing start. They will then do a formation lap and start the race on a flying lap. Donkey Uamayaku, Tyler, you're coming through loud and clear. Thank you very much, Greg. Also saying that it's all clear. Andrew Horn seems to be very excited about the fact that Andrew will be coming back, but not only with Andrew, with Marshall as well. So on board with Brandon Hills. Now it comes up into turn number 9, very tricky. This is the corner that we saw the two, Colin and Shark. So surprisingly, it's the two that smacked into the wall earlier on the race were the two that disconnected together. Now into turn number 11, you can see how this corner just opens out now into turn number 12. King at turn number 13. Then there's turn number 14, about 75 meters on the brakes, turn in and just touch the inside. Try not to run wide on the outside as Brandon did there. Sometimes as the guys start crossing the line, that was very strange. It looked like that was a pit marker in the middle of the start-finish line. But Brandon a 132.9. There goes Craig 134.0. Connor 133.1. Then Vaughan 134.0. Theo's time that was possibly an out there. As we see a car just going off the track into turn number 1. There goes my Jakes, getting it very wrong. That's into turn number 1. See a blue car going very sideways there as well. So that is on the second phase of that corner. So it is turn number 1 is the first entry point, and then you flick it through turn number 2. You can see Jakes driving with ABS on, no traction control. That's generally the way that I prefer driving the car as well.
Maybe that's why they're quicker.
What was that, Ashley? What was quicker?
Maybe that's why I need to turn off my ABS and traction control.
Well, keep your ABS on. I would suggest that you do. But definitely turn off your traction control because there is enough grip there. As we jump to Ashley, we can see the two little white markers that are showing that the ABS and traction control are on. So Dirkie 132.5 out qualifying level by 0.14. And see that Dirkie is multitasking, saying, wow, thanks for the toe there. Looks like Lendl actually helped Dirkie get himself up on the provisional pole for now. But just have a look at those times, Tyler, from first place down to 7th position.
0.078 of a second. That's how close this Alpha tier is at the moment.
Yeah, the racing here is close, and I think it's going to be a tough one for all of them.
So Morris were able to split up Lendl and Durkee 0.013 of a second. So currently in shot, on the right hand side, just getting out of the way there. So on the Morris' right hand side, our left, that slight peak getting very well out of the way there. So slight peak driving. Whoa! Looked like he probably impacted on the driver in front of him. Let's just make sure. Oh, there goes Morris. Catching that outside curb on turn number 10. So you see Morris just pulling out of that, finishing off that time. But 7 drivers within 0.78 of a second is extremely tight. Let's just go down the order. So slight peak, we saw him going off there at turn number 9. He's on a 133, so that's 1.2 seconds behind Robert, who qualified for this coming out of the Bravo tier. He's 1.4 seconds behind, and Craig 1.5. I expected him to be a little bit higher up. Vaughan Hills, he's 1.5 seconds further down, so just over 1 second behind his brother, so who is currently the fastest heels on the planet. Ashley down in 12th place. We'll come back to him just now once he gets in a better lap. Rudy, who has finally qualified himself in the Alpha tier, he finds himself down in 13th place, and Gavin, he's just now dropped down to 15th position, with Rudy being able to get a little bit quicker than him, but 2.2 seconds between the provisional pole of Durkee and 15 drivers. Shot is Lendl, and I must say he was possibly one of the unluckiest drivers in the Formula Renault that we ran the previous season. Is out of the 8 races, Lendl was disconnected out of 2 and didn't get through the first 2 corners, and only ended up finishing about 3 or 4 of those races. So we're hoping for a better fortunes this time round. So there Ashley improves, gets himself up into 9th place, but I do see a little red marker, which I'm assuming that is a 1 position penalty.
Yeah, unfortunately Dylan was speeding in the pits, and I got penalized there.
So generally there's a triangle button that you can set, Ashley. What you do is you set that as your pit limiter.
I did. But I must have double tapped it.
Look, it does happen. So here comes Theo.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it was strange for Theo to be in 15th, but I see he's managed to get himself up into 9th. Seems to be having a bit of issues there.
Remember Theo, but then again, you look at Theo and you put him into a set of Corsa, and he is absolutely flying. Between the 2 games, that does not look right. Okay, just jumped into the pits. But 15 drivers have now done their qualifying at Durkee. On the top, 132.5. Morris in 2nd place with Lendl in 3rd. Brandon, he's in 4th. Jakes is 5th. Connor is in 6th place with Alex in 7th. Robert in 8th. Still has an opportunity. He's possibly crossing.
No, he's over the line.
So Theo in 9th, then Ashley in 10th, Pete 11th, Rudy is in 12th, Craig 13th. Very surprised to see him down the order there. Vaughan Hills in 14th place, and Gavin in 15th. Definitely not one I expected.
Yeah, Craig managed to get himself up a little bit there towards the end.
Yeah, that was pure luck.
Let's see if Alex can better it.
So now the guys are saying on the stream that
Second
they're batting to hear me, which is absolutely crazy because nothing has really happened on my side. But what I can do is put that up, and hopefully that now works, guys. So just let me know if you are able to hear me.
Oh, well done to the top three. Literally 0.1 second between them.
Yeah, that is an absolutely fantastic qualifying there. And even if we go down the order, so even to Theo, that's still just over 1 second between the first nine drivers. That is incredible.
Yeah, hopefully the guys can just keep it clean and get through the first couple of laps of the incident.
So what I do like is when you're doing the rolling starts is I think that because you have momentum, even though you're getting into turn one a lot quicker, is that everybody seems to be going at the same pace. So you get in there together.
Dylan, can you press continue?
Oh, shit, but I'm the host.
Sorry,
guys. Apologies.
Coconuts, Dylan, coconuts.
What did I say?
Okay. I thought I had something
I
else.
said, oh shit. I mean, coconuts. So we are down to 14 drivers, so we have lost one. And I know that coming into the beginning of the lobby is that Rudy was saying that he was struggling with connection, and I do see that he is still there. Oh, there we go. So Vaughan Hills, he's just got the message to say that he's just got kicked. Vaughan Hills left the session, so what happens, it looks like he might have pushed the exit button by accident.
Yeah, that's happened to me a couple of times.
So you'll see that the guys will now just go off slowly. They are going to be doing a formation lap, and from that get into a race mode as they come out of turn number 10. And the reason being is that we felt through some of the practice that was done coming up to this season, is that the rolling starts did feel like they were a lot more controlled as opposed to jumping off the start. Because what generally happens is you can get 3 or 4 guys approaching into turn number 1 at the same time, where now at least you're going the same pace, and you'll have a much better spatial awareness around you.
So Dylan, as a mandatory pit stop in this series, what would your pit strategy be?
So I would obviously just check what my tire usage is looking like, but ultimately is that I would fill the car up. I would have a repair set up just in case. I wouldn't be repairing any engine or anything like that, just the aero in case you get a bit of a bump, and then hopefully not change tires and put in 1 litre of fuel, which is the quickest pit stop you're able to do. So I did spend most of my time playing around with the GT4, so I didn't spend much time in the GT3, but definitely for next week I will jump into it, and I'll be able to to give you more information on what that pit strategy should be, Tyler.
Yeah. Seems like you've been in the GT4. You must come and help us out.
With pleasure. So Dirkie will now just let the guys just bunch up a little bit, come out of the last corner, turn at number 14, and once he gets to the line, he will give the go signal, and we are now racing here at Zhuhai. You can see the acceleration there. Now into turn number 1. Ooh, just about 4 wide. Just some cars going a little bit wide there and jumping off. Looks like 2 teammates in the same liveries there. Is with this being new season, is we're still not quite sure which drivers are in what liveries. But coming into the next race, we definitely will get those livery cheat sheets up so we know who we're looking at. But currently, Dirkie leads with Marius ahead, and Marius now opening a gap just over 0.7 of a second away from Connor, who's currently in 3rd place. But Marius right on the back of Dirkie, who's currently leading this race here in the Alpha tier of the Porsche Trophy Challenge. You see the guys staying very well off that curb in turn number 10. But with the GT3s having a little bit more downforce, is that you're able to be a little bit more aggressive on the corner, on the entry through turn number 10, and it does help straighten out the car, not getting you onto that runoff on the exit. See Lendl opting to go down into 3rd gear just to help rotate that nose. And Connor in 3rd place was just trying to upset Lendl behind him. He was trying to get a slipstream, which was last. Jakes nearly collecting Lendl, as Lendl was a little bit slow coming out of turn number 2. As we jump on board with Jakes now coming into turns 4 and 5. For Lendl's a little bit wide there. Jakes does see him coming and realizes he does need to just change his line a little bit, and no contact there. So great driving there from the 2. Looks like Jakes was about to get up right on the back of Lendl.
That's what the guys like to see. Close racing, clean racing.
So Mario is still trying to close down the likes of Dirkie. Dirkie leading here in the Alpha tier. A little bit of runoff there for both the Dirkie and for Marius. Just love the way this car sounds as the guys gear down. Maybe we can just jump to about, I was about to say 7th place. If we could just jump to the outside view there, please, Tyler. Just want to see some side by side.
Oh fuck! Shit!
We are coconuts.
Sorry.
Puts up in the middle of the track again.
And Ashley helped the driver there go a little bit wide. We didn't quite see who that was.
It was Alex. Sorry, Alex.
So Alex is now down into 9th place, and Ashley now up into 7th. There in shot, that is Alex. Doesn't look like that there's any damage done to his car, so it was just a little love tap. So it looks like
our old teammate Robert.
Looks like Robert.
He's either pitted or he's had an accident somewhere. Doesn't look like it
so
though.
If you look at that front bumper, it does seem to be just a little bit dented in there. So maybe he has opted to go for the pits. But now Craig having a look to the inside. Side by side there.
Oh, that wasn't Craig. That was Ashley on the inside of Brandon. So a great move there by Ashley. Ashley, you're supposed to be focusing on your racing.
I don't know what happened there.
Yes. Oh, someone's pitting.
So down the start finish line, you can just see in the background there. So it looks like Alex and Brandon have both decided to go into the pits, take an early pit. But maybe what I should do is make notes of who's pitted, so that we don't have those questions later on, as we did see old Janeman have an absolute fantastic drive there and caught us unawares. Not.
Sorry guys, we've Marius has managed to make his way up into first place.
Oh yes, that he has.
We missed that.
Well spotted there, Tyler. I was so worried about who was pitting and who was doing what, watching Ashley's amazing maneuver that he did there. Oh my goodness, watching Durkee run on the outside curb there is extremely dangerous. So in shot, Rudy Base down in 11th place. Well, that was Gavin getting a little bit wide. Gavin currently down in 10th place, but now we jump back to the front. And Durkee side by side on Marius. He looks like Durkee got the run out of turn number 14 and managed to get himself ahead of Marius. But now we see that the battle between Connor and Lendl, those four are now within 1.5 seconds of each other. So the front battle is still very heated. Looks like Connor was a little bit too deep into the chicane turn number 4, which is going to allow Lendl to close up on him. We'll have a look to the inside here, turn number 7. No, he doesn't. But now there's an opportunity to get the toe now through turn number 8. Then get right on the inside in turn number 9. We'll have a look there. Not close enough. But now it's all about the exit speed. You can see he had a very early turn in. Now he might be able to go flat out now through turn number 10. Tuck up in behind him and set up the move into turn number 11. As we see Durkee now defending on the inside. And Marius getting closed up. Oh, little side-by-side action there between Lendl and Connor. See Lendl just moving to the inside there into turn number 14. So, but now Connor is able to take it back. I'm thinking that Lendl possibly ran a little bit wide. So these four are trading places.
With their battles going on, they're bringing Jakes into it as well. It's getting closer and closer every lap.
So Jakes, you're right, is the fastest of the 5 there, with Jakes going into the 134.2. So he's been able to close up just on 0.4 of a second to Lendl, who hasn't been able to find a smooth way around the likes of Connor just yet. So a slight Pete on the back of Ashley, who's chasing Craig from Yugi's Finest. But I see, there was a spin that looked like it was Connor that had a spin, and that was coming out of turn number 10, which has now allowed Lendl up into 3rd and Jakes now into 4th. Craig's moved up into 5th now, as well as Ashley. So Connor is now dropping down the field. But now we hear the
the sigh of disbelief as Ashley falls further down, and that's now allowed Pete to move up into 6th place. Oh, commentator's curse is going to absolutely kill me. As we jump to Pete, we see him spinning off there. So that was...
And Connor.
And Connor.
Yeah, right in front of me, those two. So I wonder if they came together.
No, they were nowhere near each other. Pete looked like he had lost it on his, by himself. But the battle up front...
We've got...
What is that, Tyler?
Yeah, Jake's catching Lima.
So Jake's starting to close up on the back of Lendl. And Dirkie and Morris trading places just about every lap or so. So still very, very close up in the front. See a much tighter line there from the guys in the GT3s out of turn number 10. So I was just having a look, Tyler, because we did have Gavin who was down the order. But Gavin now has got himself up into 6th place. So he's definitely improving from where he started at the beginning of this race.
He's in 7th place at the moment, Dylan.
And it looks like Dirkie's not letting Marius go. Yo, the way that camera moved to us. Will Dirkie have a look to the inside on turn 4 and 5? No, he doesn't. He is able to allow Marius to get through there. But this is the battle for 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th place. And we are just about 15 minutes into this race. Just remember that these guys will still need to do a pit, and as Dirkie makes a bit of a mistake, that's going to allow both Lendl and Jakes to move up. A little flash of the lights there by Dirkie saying apologies. Oh, little nudge from the back of Jakes. That was... I was about to say, I hope that Lendl didn't go off, but it looked like it was just a nudge. And Lendl was able to hang on to it. Ooh. Dirkie very late onto the brakes there, looking for that inside line, going into turn number 11.
These guys need to concentrate, stop fighting each other, because when they look again, Marius is going to be gone.
So I think Lendl's decided that he wants nothing of this battle anymore. We see that he's now moved off and he's now gone into the pits. I think that's actually a very good move, because now what will happen is that he'll stop fighting and later on can start putting in those laps without impacting too much. Just looking at those lap times, you can see that the guys 134.4s for both Marius and Jakes, and Dirkie that 137 with him running a little bit wide.
Yeah, and we got Craig catching as well on a 134.6.
I've also just got the fact that Connor, he too has now gone into the pits. Craig now up into 4th place with 134.6s. He is starting to find some pace now. So in shot is Alex, who's got Intrepid Striker in front of him. That is Theo with Robert behind him. But now Robert's going to be able to go around Alex. So Alex now down into 11th place, and Robert moves himself up into 10th.
Lendl's in 8th after that pit stop. Be interesting to see where the other guys come out.
See, as Lendl got into the power, how that rear just kicked a little bit. So I have now got Craig going into the pit, so I have noted that as well. So that is Lendl leading this pack, but the drivers behind him in 9th, 10th and 11th place within 2 seconds of each other. So those positions could possibly change, and see Craig now coming out of the pit. So he's going to now slot in behind the back of this pack. So it looks like Craig slots in between Roberts and Alex. But I think all that's going to happen is that Craig's going to get stuck down the field, having pitted, where he would have wanted to rather exited the pits either in front of this battle or further down. So Marius is 1.3 seconds clear, as we now watch Jakes decide he's going to take his pit stop now, which will now allow Durkee to go past and take back that second place. Playing with that outside curb on turn number 14. We have seen him go off there already. So Jakes will come out of the pits and find himself in 5th place ahead of Pete, who is in 6th. So that is a pretty good stop there for Jakes, not being impacted by any drivers in front of him. So Craig closing up on Theo. Will Craig look to the inside on 4? No, he's not close enough. But now it's about getting the drive out of turn number 5, moving to the inside, taking the inside line through turn number 6, and then hopefully being able to put it on the inside here to turn number 7. So Theo and Craig side by side. Great move there by Craig. Theo did see him coming, even though Theo tried to close the door on him. Craig had just got the car into such a good position that Theo had to let him through. Oh! That was Lendl going off at turn number 9. So now Lendl's going to be stuck further down the field, with Robert now having a look to the inside. Oh, side by side. Coming out of turn number 11, there's so much close racing action here. And that is the battle for 8th, 9th and 10th place. You've got Lendl, Robert and then Alex. So Craig in 7th place, having pitted, will start closing down on Sly Pete in front of him. We know that Sly Pete does still need to take his pits.
Have Theo and all of them pitted?
No, they have not.
Theo, Lendl.
So Lendl has
Alex.
pitted. The only one who has pitted out of that group was Craig and Lendl. So Alex, Theo, as well as Robert. Well, we were not quite sure with Robert, but they would still need to pit. So that was Rudy's being lapped by Morris, the current race leader. So
we've got Jakes and Ashley.
So that's Ashley peeling off to take his pit stop. Ashley, so you're going into the pits now. What is the strategy there?
Just stop and go. Literally. I don't need to change anything.
Well, there you heard it. A little stop and go for Ashley, and then he'll get back on the track. Looking at the times, yeah, it's a bit wonky now, but he might be able to get himself ahead of Craig.
Craig just got ahead of me.
No.
A stream of cars coming up next to me.
You can see Ashley now coming out right in the thick of things, and that's behind Theo and Lendl, with Alex and Robert right up behind him. So Ashley will leave you to it.
That's exactly what I didn't want.
And this is why we like throwing these pits in, because what happens is you get that pit timing a little bit wrong, and then all of a sudden you find yourself in an absolute sea of cars, and Lendl having to defend to the inside. Ooh.
Oh.
Luckily these are not open wheelers, and Lendl probably didn't see that Ashley was on the inside there, but no harm done there. Ashley, your car is all alright?
No, nothing. We didn't touch. I don't think so.
Okay, well that is fantastic news, because on the stream it looked like it was quite a hard hit.
Oh.
So that is your second place driver, Dirkie, now coming into turn number 7. And a race leader.
Has Marius?
No, Marius has not pitted, but Marius does like to pit very late on in the race. We are approaching 15 minutes left, so 16 minutes left now. But I would believe that Marius would probably pit around about 10 minutes to go or so. And Dirkie, he too also needs to pit. I'll cheers you for that, Vaughan. And unfortunately, a DC right in the beginning of the race that is absolutely gut-wrenching. Ooh. So Alex getting a very bad exit out of turn number 7, which allows Robert to get himself ahead of him, who's now chasing down Lendl. And remember, Lendl went into the pits in a 3rd place, and a mistake going into turn number 9, and that's now dropped him further down the order. So I see that Dirkie, he's now gone in for his pit stop. So Dirkie now down in 4th place, with Sly Pete 3 seconds ahead of him, but Pete still needing to get his pit stop done, which will allow Jakes to currently stay in that 2nd place. So Dirkie now starting to get a little bit of pressure from the back of Sly Pete, but Pete's exit out of turn number 7 didn't allow him to make any headroads, closing up that gap.
That's Craig behind Dirkie.
Oh, there's Sly Pete. So Pete's actually ahead. Thank you for the correction there. You see Dirkie's lap a 1:55.8, and Morris doing a 1:42, so that doesn't seem like that's enough time for a pit stop, so I think he might have had a bit of an off. So 18 seconds between Marius and Jakes, and we still have not seen Marius pit yet. So we might actually have a change in the leader once Morris goes into the pits. So Tal, I'm just seeing now that Dirkie did a 142.5 and Morris did a 142.4. So I'm almost thinking that that might have been Morris's outlap from the pits and somehow missed the fact that Morris went into the pits.
Yeah, might have. I didn't notice that either.
So to the guys who are watching, I don't know if you noticed if Morris had pitted. Let us know, did you see that pit? If so, that will definitely help some of the confusion we're experiencing now. You can see Morris a 133.9, so that is currently the fastest lap that we have seen here this evening.
Oh no.
So that sounds like a little mistake by Ashley as we see him facing the wrong way. At turn number 10, so I can only imagine that was a bit of a touch of the curb on the exit. And Ashley decides not to comment.
Probably safer. I got too many coconut words.
So Lendl now starting to open a gap between himself and Alex further down. But Theo now in a 6th position. So he has also been able to get away from that madness. So Dane saying he doesn't think that Marius has pitted yet. So thanks for that, Dane. But with just over 10 minutes to go, Marius always does like to pit quite late on in the race. So this battle for 7th, 8th and 9th place. You see Brandon starting to make his way up the field. That he was down in 11th place earlier on in this race, but now he's starting to close up on the back of Alex, and just ahead of him, that is his teammate Lendl. So there goes Pete into the pits. So that's big lock up there for Alex going into turn number 11. So we'll start seeing Pete slowly but surely drop down the order there, which now allows Dirkie to move up back into 3rd. So we've just had a disconnection.
Must have been someone at the back. I didn't see anybody.
We are down to 13 drivers. So less than 10 minutes to go. Morris comes around and he will now begin his 20th lap. There we see him as he crosses the start finish line, a 133.7, and I've somehow managed to get a PowerPoint presentation to start in front of me. That's very strange. I lifted my knee up and pushed the keyboard onto my wheel. Oh, it was Connor that disconnected. Thank you very much there, Greg, for keeping an eye out. There was Rudy on the side there. You can see that he's probably encountered some damage. But this battle between Lendl, Alex and Brandon, this is still going to go down to the wire with 8 minutes left. Lendl riding a lot of curb on the exit of turn number 14. So that is your 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th place. Ooh, very close there for Brandon, right on the back of Alex. So Morris starting to open the gap. There's Rudy going into the pits. So it's 8 minutes left. Ooh.
Have we lost someone else, Dylan? I think we've lost Rudy.
Yes, we have lost Rudy. So in shot, that is Ashley trying to pull away from Gavin. And seems like a lot of coconut moments there for Ashley.
Yeah, Gavin's all over me like a rash.
Stay off that curb on the exit of turn 10. Gavin got a great exit coming out of turn number 12.
It's much better on the brakes.
So there goes Alex trying to fight back and get that position back from Brandon. But Brandon very well into turn number 1 ahead of him. Ooh, little kick of the rear for Alex, but well caught there.
But naughty by Gavin.
Didn't quite see what happened there. So Rudy unfortunately saying that his wasn't a disconnect, is that he didn't have the correct pit strategy selected. So when he went in to fix the damage, they didn't fix the damage. So he did retire. Very unfortunate, Rudy, and unfortunately your welcome back into the Alpha tier has not been a good one. So we're seeing just over 5.5 minutes left. Still have not seen Marius pit, and Alex is not giving up that position from Brandon just yet. Brandon getting lots and lots of pressure from Alex in the background there. Let's see whether Alex got the drive out of turn number 14. It doesn't look like it. And it's Brandon closing up on Lendl in front of him. So the two racing boot drivers, Brandon and Lendl. Little kick of the rear for Alex once again through turn number 2. There goes Theo, Lendl, Brandon, and Alex in the background. See Theo taking a very tight line going into turn number 7. As a lot of the other drivers will stay a lot wider, then a cut back in. Side by side there for Alex with Brandon. Will he be able to get through? Brandon able to just sneak on the inside, but I think he's had a much slower exit. Brandon on the inside. We can just jump back one place there for us, please. There we go. So Alex not able to take advantage of that. So the two racing boots are side by side, with Alex not giving up just yet. They're going to be... Oh, I don't think he saw him. Was there a little squeeze on the outside going into turn number 14. So 3.5 minutes left. So we'll have just on about 3 laps left. And Alex fighting very hard with Lendl, You can see Brandon now, the faster of the two racing boats. He's now put himself ahead of his teammate. And I think it was in the just changing of the positions there that had allowed Alex to close back up. But I am seeing that every time Alex is going into the corners, when he's getting that power, and that rear is just stepping out just a little bit. So here we go. Marius is now in the pits. This is the opportunity. We can just jump to Jakes to see whether he'll be able to get ahead of Marius or not. So Jakes now comes out of the last corner. So we can see Marius now exiting out of the pits, but Jakes has been able to get himself ahead of Marius. So that is an extremely interesting chain of events there. With 2 laps left, Jakes has got just 2 laps to defend a 1.7 second lead between himself and Marius. Dirkie now 15 seconds behind this. But where all the action is currently happening is down in a 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and I'd say a 9th place, but
9.
There goes Pete to the inside. Is there enough space there for him? Yes, there is. An absolute cracker of a move there for him. Being able to go on the inside of Alex. A great move there by Pete. So that moves him up into 8th position. No! Pete too anxious. No. Too anxious to get the... It's not anxious is the word I'm looking for. You wanted to get the power on too soon and got it too eager. Thank you, Tyler. So Morris comes out of turn number 14. This is going to be the last lap. Jake's now 2.5, just over 2 seconds ahead of Marius. But still, the battle. Brandon now putting a lot of pressure on the back of Theo. So these guys will still have one more lap to go. Brandon taking lots of inside curb through turn number 14. That should allow him to get a great drive. You can see Theo trying to not give Brandon any sort of advantage through a slipstream down the main straight. See Theo turning very early into that turn number 1. So possibly Brandon's going to have an advantage by taking a wider line. And I was watching Lendl and Alex going a little bit wide there, just touching the dirt on the outside of turn number 2. Little lock up there for Morris going into turn number 11. You can see how Theo just slowly but surely just closes off that inside line. So that is your race leader and race winner. Jakes will cross the line in first place with Marius 1.8 seconds behind. An absolutely fantastic job there. Brandon is still trying to find a way around Alex as they now head towards turn number 11. So that's Brandon on Theo. There's only going to be one more opportunity, and that's possibly to get a drive through turn number 14, but I think he is a little bit too far away. So an absolute great battle there between Theo and Brandon, but it is Theo that will take 5th place. We did miss Dirkie coming home in 3rd with Craig in 4th. Then Theo, Brandon in 6th place with Lendl down in 7th. Alex fought hard for that 8th position with Robert in 9th place. Gavin down in 10th position. As Pete in 11th and Ashley down in 12th place.
Damn, that was tough, man. I couldn't keep that car on the track.
Yeah, I think that was a very good race. We had Jakes with a perfect strategy, keeping it clean and consistent.
No, he
That's what
really,
counts.
really drove that race well, and I do believe that that was a mistake there from Marius, and that's essentially what cost him his race.
Yeah, at some point Marius definitely made a mistake.
Alright, so we're just going to get the guys to join us in the Discord. So we have sent the message out to them, inviting them in.
Well then, Jakes.
Can you hear me, Dylan? Great. Can you see me?
Good.
Yeah, well done, guys. Yeah, Jakes, Marius, and Turkey. Actually, I think you need to join the live stream so you can explain what you did wrong. Robert, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Robert?
René, die mense nou vir ons gesit en luister.
Yeah.
Welcome guys. The opponent winners around number 1 of the Porsche Trophy Challenge, the GT3 class. Welcome guys. Dirkie, let's start off with you. You mentioned right in the beginning that is it okay if you start at the back? And then we just lost Dirkie. Dirkie, please come back. Dirkie is no weg. Let's go to you, Marius. A great race for you. A little bit of pressure up front there initially. Between yourself and Dirkie, trading places just about every lap in the opening stages. And then eventually he did make a mistake, and then from that you were able to open up a gap from him.
Yeah, that battle in the beginning was very exciting because it wasn't just me and him. Adrian Lima was right. I was watching my mirrors the whole time because they were all there. Jakes as well, he was also there. So that was exciting. But I could pull a little gap. I don't know what happened, if something happened to someone behind me or what, but when I saw again there was a gap.
So what actually happened was Lendl decided to go into the pits, and I think exactly that, because between himself and Dirkie they were fighting, and I think it was slowing him down, so he decided to go into the pits just to get out of that battle, and that's essentially what freed him up.
and then later on he made a mistake going into turn number 9, and then that put him, man, right in the middle of the pack later on.
Okay, because I know Jakes did also probably didn't want to do the battle and went in to the pits, but I made a mistake there. To the end, I thought I had nice enough time to go to the pits out, and then I spun. And I lost, I don't know how many seconds, Jakes, quite a bit, but then I was suddenly only 19 seconds, and I knew if I go to the pits, he's going to... But it was an awesome race.
For this race, I decided to take my notes, and I kept checking to see whether you had pitted. I ended up asking the guys on the stream, did anybody see Marius pit? Because I didn't make my note here. And then as soon as we saw that time was about 18, we've been questioning, well, that was a 143. We know that Dirkie's just come out and he did a 143, so it's possibly your outlap, but I don't remember it. So, yeah.
No, I couldn't go pit after I spun because I was trying to stretch the time again between me and Jakes because I saw, oh, heck, he's going to pass me in the pits now. So I stayed out as long as I could, and then when I saw I just could not do anything, I just went in and thought maybe I'm very close behind him, and I pushed very hard that last 2 laps to get closer, but I almost spun out again because of it. So I just stayed
100%. Well, first race of the season, you did manage to get yourself a second place there. Dirkie, we see that you're coming back in. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. So just to repeat my question is that in the beginning of the race you said you hope you don't mind if you stay at the back, but meanwhile there you go and you're fighting up in the front. Stick the car in pole position and then fight your way and get yourself a podium.
Yes, man. What actually happened is I landed right behind Lindell and he had a lot of pace. And I just checked his brake lights and I braked where he brake and I just followed him around and he pulled me into the pole position. So all thanks to Lindell there.
No, hundreds.
and I also caught up to some new brake markers because I really struggled with this track. I think I was last night like 2 seconds off pace. I mean, I think that the Jakes and Marius can vouch that. And when I got home, I found another second, and I don't know where I got the rest of the time. I'm amazed.
No, it's really great to see that you're fighting up at the top there. And then to our winner, round number 1, my Jakes, a clean race for you. Also very tricky in the beginning, but then just through keeping it tidy and a great pit strategy, you ended up taking the win.
Yes, absolutely, Dylan. I had a very bad start, starting from 5th, and I ended up 6th in the first corner. And I just decided I'm not going to fight anybody. I'm just going to pace myself, keep the car on the track. And somebody made a mistake. I can't remember. I think it was Brandon. Made a mistake. He spun off, and then I went to the next position, 5th. And then Lindell made a mistake. When he went into the pits, and I ended up 4th, and I decided, all right, there's no traffic in front of me, I'm just going to keep it like that. And then Dirkie made a mistake, and we passed him as well. And I decided, okay, just before I went to the pits, I was 1.7 seconds behind Marius, and I decided, right, this is the time to pit, make it perfect, and I was on the 23rd minute, or there was 23 minutes left. And when I came out of the pits, I was 25 seconds behind him. And I just said to myself, well, if I can keep this 25 seconds behind him, then...
you're in with a chance.
I mean, with a chance, yes. If I can just keep that gap. And all of a sudden I saw him, the time went from 25 seconds gap to 17 seconds gap. And I thought, lekker Marius, lekker. And I thought, here's my chance. Now I must just play it cool. Just keep the car on the track. My pace was a little bit off, but I knew if I could just keep it around there, if Marius went out or into the pits, then I will end up in front of him. And he won about 3 seconds, but I wasn't worried about that. I didn't want to push too hard and make a mistake. And when Marius came out of the pits, I went in front of him, and there was 3 laps or so left, and I thought by myself, no, let's just keep it cool now. Let's keep it cool, not make a mistake. And my strategy worked out for me. And I'm very, very chuffed winning the first race of the championship, because I can't race next week. I'm not.
Oh my goodness!
Week. So
points for free there.
So I had to come first. So that was the option.
Awesome. So guys, thank you so much. Thank you very much for joining. It was absolutely incredibly entertaining. So I hope you do enjoy it. And what you missed down the field is that once again the battle for 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th place also came down to just a couple of seconds in the end there. So great racing all around. Don't forget, we will be back racing on Sunday for our Assetto Corsa, and then we kick off round number 1 in the vintage touring cars, and a completely new format there, so we're really looking forward to that as well. So guys, thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you to our sponsor, Thrustmaster, that has made this all possible. Guys, we will see you in the next couple of days. Until then, keep racing, and thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.